Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is StephanieNicoleH. So today's video is going to be somewhat of a story time. So my daughter's birthday is coming up. She will be turning 1 on November the 8th. And I just wanted to talk about her birthing story. So I know a lot of moms can probably relate to this video as far as what we expected with our pregnancy and what actually happened. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so I'm going to tell you about my birthing story with my daughter Jordan. So she is turning 1 and I cannot believe it. So if you checked out my very first video in my introduction, I mentioned that she is an IVF baby, so she is our little miracle. Now my entire pregnancy was pretty easygoing, no morning sickness, no real cravings other than maybe pineapples, I would probably say. But I didn't really get sick. Yeah, it was pretty smooth up until I would say the 3rd trimester. So my feet swelled up super bad, my wrists, my hands. And so the weekend of October the 12th last year, 2019, that was the day that I took my maternity pictures. So if you're in the St. Louis area, make sure that you check out Leo Anderson. I'm going to put his information down in the description box. He did an amazing job on my pictures. And then the very next day, was my baby shower. So it was a jam-packed weekend. So on the move, taking pictures, then the baby shower, which was amazing. My sister and my mother-in-law threw that for me and it was beautiful. Alice in Wonderland theme tea party. So I'm gonna put some pictures here just so you can see. So yeah, that weekend was so on the move, and with my feet and hands and everything, it was just a lot. So at this point I'm going to the doctor weekly since I'm in my 3rd trimester, and I told my doctor about my concerns, and she's basically, just stay off your feet as much as you can. It's nothing to be concerned about. So our birthing class, so we scheduled to go to a birthing class on October the 26th, I believe. It was a Saturday. So we went to the hospital for this birthing class, and my 2 main concerns about giving birth, because I just knew I was going to have a vaginal birth. So my 2 concerns were pooping while giving birth and tearing. I've heard horror stories about both. So I definitely inquired about that when I was in the class. And the nurse who was hosting the class basically told me, it's nothing to be concerned about as far as the pooping. You will never even know. They'll clean it up so fast. And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want to be pooping while giving birth in front of my husband. I don't care, what the circumstances. If a grown person is pooping in front of me, I would feel some type of way. And I didn't want him to feel some type of way about me, even though, it's the miracle of birth and all of that. I still was concerned about that. I did not want him to see me in that light. And then as far as the tearing, I've heard horror stories of tearing all the way to the anus and having to get stitches, and I was terrified. So with this class, majority of everyone in there was planning on having a vaginal birth. So there was this one couple in there who raised their hand and inquired about, are we going to be watching any videos on C-sections? And I'm just like, oh God, here we go. Because I didn't want to hear about it. Like, that's not something that I was going to have. So, I mean, it would be a waste of time for me to even learn about it. But whatever, I'll just sit here and listen anyway. So yeah, we got everything that we needed to out of the class. And it was very informational. They told us about the epidural and the different kinds of balls, like the peanut ball that you put in between your legs to help with contractions, and just how to ease the contraction. We watched videos of a live birth and everything. So yeah, fast forward, the next day was our hospital tour. So we decided to give birth at Mercy Hospital here in St. Louis. And so we went on the tour, and I was thinking, you know, I want a room with a tub so that I'm a water person. So I wanted to get into the water and to help ease my contractions, and was even Googling the peanut ball, just in case that the hospital wouldn't supply that. Was Googling all types of things to assist with contractions. So yeah, we went on the tour and everything went well. And then, okay, so still I'm going on these weekly doctor's appointments. So fast forward to Halloween. So Halloween at work, we had a costume contest. I dressed up in skeleton makeup. I had a shirt on that was like a skeleton ribs, and it had a little baby skeleton on it. It was so cute. So I was decked out in my Halloween makeup because I'm hosting basically this Halloween event at work. So I left a half a day because I had to go to my doctor's appointment. So I show up at the doctor's appointment. My husband actually came with me. So at this doctor's appointment, my doctor actually checked my cervix and told me, you know, there's no way that you're having this baby vaginally. You're going to have a C-section. And that's just because your bones are too close together. So I'm thinking, you know, what? All this time, this entire pregnancy, I'm planning on having a vaginal birth. This entire time, freaking myself out about pooping on the table and tearing. And now I'm being thrown a curveball saying that I'm going to have a C-section. Me and my sister were C-section babies. So I called my sister. I'm like, you know, what is up with this? So she says our mom had the same issue, the bones too close together. So that's the reason why she had to have a C-section. So also during this visit, my blood pressure is through the roof. I don't know if it was stress from work or what, but also I had developed pre-eclampsia, which is the reason for my hands and my wrists and my ankles and feet swollen. I'm going to put a picture here so you can see exactly how swollen my feet were. It was terrible. So she tells me, you know, since your blood pressure is so high, I'm going to send you over to the hospital, because her office was separate from the actual hospital. She says, I'm going to send you over to the hospital to triage and for them to monitor your blood pressure. So we actually went to go get something to eat. I'm not thinking anything of this. I still have on my Halloween makeup and everything. So we get over to the hospital. They check us in and are monitoring my blood pressure. It's still pretty high. And so the nurse is saying, it's no way you're leaving here without having a baby. So I'm like, what? I don't have my backpack. I am not prepared for this. Like, I'm not ready to have a baby yet. Like, she needs to stay inside. And mind you, she's not even due until Thanksgiving. So they keep us there. I'm watching Hocus Pocus, my favorite Halloween movie, and still have my Halloween makeup on. And so they're still in constant communication with my doctor, and she's saying, you know, at first they were like, we're going to keep you here. We're trying to find a room for you. And then as time progressed and it got later in the night, they were saying, you know, we're going to send you home. You need to call your doctor to make an appointment to go see her this following Monday, because Halloween was on a Thursday. So they wanted me to call her on Friday and go see her on Monday. And in the meantime, monitor my blood pressure. So I'm like, okay. And they're like, Also, we're going to put you on bed rest now, so no more work. That's okay with me. So the next day comes, and my mother-in-law comes over and is keeping me company and making me comfortable. She even bought me a home blood pressure kit or whatever to monitor my blood pressure. And so she was really sweet for staying with me. I was told to stay off my feet. And so I did that on Friday. We went to the doctor again on Monday. And so again, I was told at this doctor's appointment on Monday, your pressure is too high. We're going to send you over to the hospital. Great. So send me over to the hospital again. Again, they're saying, you are not leaving here without having a baby. So at this point, I have my bags packed and everything. So I am prepared mentally, not really there yet. My main concern with a C-section, and this is probably all first-time moms who have been told that they're going to have a C-section. I was nervous about being awake and being cut open. That was my main concern. I'm like, that is terrifying, being cut open and being awake. So everybody that I talked to who had previously had C-sections, all said the same thing. Like, you cannot feel a thing. They numb you pretty much from your neck down. You can't feel anything. So, and they have the sheet up so you can't see anything, but I was still scared. I even cried about it. It was terrible. So they just kept me there, monitored my pressure, and again, communication with my doctor, and told me, you know, just go home, give us a call tomorrow so we can set a for sure date for your C-section. And again, monitor your pressure while you're at home. So the reason they kept sending me home and just telling me to monitor my blood pressure was because I was still only 36 weeks and they were trying to get me to 37 weeks so that her lungs were fully developed. So gave them a call the next day. They scheduled me for November the 8th, which was that Friday, to have my baby. So I'm at home trying to stay off my feet. It's so funny because I'm trying to figure out, you know, how I'm going to greet my baby. I have a lot of gray hair and I dye it constantly black. So while I'm supposed to be staying at home, staying off my feet, I ended up going to the beauty supply, getting some hair dye so that I could be prepared to meet my daughter. My husband actually calls me while I'm out and he can hear the sounds in the car. He's like, where are you at? Why are you out? Why are you not off your feet? So he was for sure trying to take care of me and make sure that I was staying on bed rest. And they scheduled me for 9:30 on that Friday, November the 8th, and advised me to get there 2 hours in advance, told me to shower the night before, make sure that I showered with antibacterial soap or something like that. Dial is what they suggested, so I went out and got that, and make sure that I was showered and clean and everything. So they advised us to get there 2 hours in advance. So I got up early that day, did a full face of makeup. So we got there around 7:30, checked in, and my mother-in-law came too. And so we were all in there, just they were monitoring my vitals. And so a lot of different people were in and out. So the anesthesiologist, nurses, everyone coming in, introducing themselves and everything, signing forms, things like that. And so once 9:30 hit, pretty much on the dot, they wheeled us out into the delivery room. And then it was time for the epidural. So my story about the epidural. Even though it does not hurt because they numb that area of your back, I still know that they're trying to put a needle in my back. So therefore, I kept flinching up every time they did it. They want you to hunch over so that they could get the needle in your back, but I kept going like this. And so pretty much all the nurses had to gather around me and soothe me kind of and calm me down and give me some encouragement, which I thought was amazing. So they got it in and got me on the table, and I was numb. Like, I could not feel a thing. So everything that I thought before about being cut open while wide awake, I mean, I could not feel anything. They put the sheet up, and so the anesthesiologist was pretty much right there. She had my phone and was taking pictures and pretty much documenting everything that was going on. My husband was on this side, and I asked the anesthesiologist, I'm like, have they started cutting yet? And she's like, oh yeah, they started cutting already. I could not feel anything, not a thing. It was so weird. I still to this day don't understand it, but I mean, it worked. So around 9:53, I heard the sweetest little cry I have ever heard in my life. And it was my daughter. She was being born. It was amazing. I cannot explain the feeling that I felt, but all I can say is wow. The whole experience of becoming a mother at that very moment is just indescribable. It's indescribable. You cannot explain that feeling. We have plenty of pictures of everything that was going on when they first gave her to me, and she was covered in all that stuff. But she was the most beautiful baby I had ever seen in my life. And yeah, it's just the miracle of birth. I mean, you hear about it all the time, but until you experience it, you don't really know that exact feeling. So they took her over to the side to measure her and get her weight and everything. And my husband went over as well and cut the umbilical cord. But the process was so fast, like from 9:30 to 9:53, that's all it took. So since I had a scheduled C-section, I have no idea what contractions feel like. My water never broke, so I don't have those stories to tell my daughter once she gets older. I don't have that story like, I was in labor with you for 48 hours, so no, I can't even go there with her. She was out in 23 minutes, quick and easy. So even though my plan did not go the way I expected it to, I am happy that it went the way it did. Going forward, if I were to have another baby in the future, I definitely would want a C-section. And that's just because it's what I know now. And it was just such a smooth process that I definitely would want it to go that route in the future. So I am actually going to insert some pictures here of the day of my birth. So right before I gave birth, my last picture of being pregnant, and then also some pictures in the delivery room and right after. So check this out. That is my birthing story. My daughter Jordan is turning 1, and she is our miracle. This child amazes us every single day, and I cannot imagine my life without her. So that is it. I hope you all enjoyed. You all have a beautiful day, and I will see you all next time.